You're always so sweet, my friend. All right. Yeah. Okay, we can officially start. Yes. So, welcome, my friends. Okay. Oh, yeah. One more thing. One more thing, which is to set up. Follow me, please. Top comment on RedNote, so that for those new joiners, when you see it, you guys could start following me. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. I think we are all done. Yeah. Great. Welcome, my friends. Yeah. So, okay, we had quite interesting discussion yesterday, and somehow on TikTok, like there are like more viewers than usual. And just so you know, friends, as always, like the topic of this live stream is about China. Okay, welcome. Thank you, GGG. Yeah. So, guys, if you have any questions about China, just like on this paper fan, just let me know. Okay, send in the comments. Usually we would have a lot of to discuss about, whether it's about the culture, it's about the traditions, or it's about like social phenomena, like so many things about China and the world that we could discuss about. Okay, so it's going to be a Q&A session every day, and people could send in the comments area if you have any questions about China or about myself, like anything, just send in the comments. Okay, we definitely need more interactions every day. So the more people who can send in the comments area, the better. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like nowadays, like the viewers on Red Note are no longer as interactive as before. So it would be great that we could have more interactions. And definitely, guys, if you haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me. Okay. You model. I don't know why. Like there are people asking me like whether I am a model a lot. Like Crystal, can you please tell me like what do you why do you think like I am a model? Like first of all, I am not a model, but I consider to be a compliment when you ask me like whether I'm a model. Maybe I do look like a model. Yeah. From judging from my height, like how tall I am, I can definitely be a model because I am quite tall. Hi, it's me again. Hi, Heisenberg. Is it because you watched the the TV drama Breaking Bad? That's why you call yourself Heisenberg. Yeah. Is BRICS a frequent topic in China? Not exactly. Not exactly. You know, people here don't talk a lot about politics here in China. Um, well, actually we do, but it's not like usually not around BRICS. Yeah. Are you Chinese? I'm 100% Chinese, my friend. Hello, you could be a model. Thank you, Dali. Yeah, but being a model is a very difficult job, you know? I um I have done some like photo shooting. Well, not because I'm a model, it's just because of the business I'm working on, and also like for my wedding photos, like taking photos as a model is definitely pretty tiring. Yeah. Hello, hi Cappy from Poland. Hi, it's me, your friendly international spy hunter. Good to see you. Yeah. Yeah. It is good serious. Yeah, thank you, Matthew. 中国人朋友，中国人 Have you guys followed me? If you haven't followed me, definitely follow me, okay? Yeah. Yeah. So for friends on Red Note, how are you guys feeling today? And also on TikTok, how are you guys feeling today? Yeah, hello. Your face is perfect for modeling. Like, what's this? What's the people's impression on what kind of face should a model have? My friend. Yeah, but my face is like relatively speaking quite small. So the other day I met another English content creator. You know, we didn't know each other before, and it's because we were both doing live stream on Rednote, and like we got to know each other. And the other day I was traveling to her city and I said, hey, let's meet. And she said, yeah, let's do it. So we got to meet. And like the thing that I was surprised about is like she's even prettier than herself on the screen. And like one thing she's surprised about me is that, oh my god, your face is so small, you know, because people don't get to know like how small my face is like just by watching the screen, right? Because like the screen, the camera is basically just at my face, so you would have a feeling that my face is relatively bigger. However, like when you see me in real, like my face is like definitely considered to be very small. So there's a Chinese saying called like 巴掌脸, which means like your face is just within the palm, right? So this is my palm and this is my face. So guys, can you tell like actually I have a pretty small face. You can try to do it yourself, like by putting a palm on your face, whether see your palm could cover your entire face. If your palm can cover your entire face, well, usually it means you have a pretty small face. Well, also maybe means that you have a big palm. Anyway, just checking to make sure you're not. Ah, it's Lachlan, right? Or Lachlan, my friend. We made a joke to say like we are all, you know. 你好吗？我很好 Thank you, my friend. It is a good series. Guess who? Matthew, 马修. You're very pretty indeed. Thank you, Sammy. Have you guys followed me, my friend? Have you guys followed me? Yeah, it's a pretty good weather. Everything is becoming warmer and warmer right now. Season change. Whenever there is a season change, it's always a good time for ladies to start to shopping and buy new clothes. Yeah, so I feel like when the springtime is coming, when the summertime is about to approach, it's also a good time to start to change clothes. Yeah, you handle that well. Thank you. Yeah. Hi, Lee the cat. Yeah, guys, follow me, please. Yeah. How people feel about tattoos in China? Do you have a lot of tattoo? Like, is it really true that many people from the West have lots of tattoos? Well, guys, like you could actually just let me know, what do you guys feel about tattoos? Like, what's the people's general perception of tattoos? Yeah, to be honest, tattoo here in China is not considered to be a major culture trend. Usually, like for people still, especially for the older generation, when they see someone with tattoos on them, that is considered to be, honestly speaking, not a good sign. Like people with tattoo, especially for the older generation, that they would consider someone with tattoo are usually the mafia, the gangs. That's kind of feeling. For younger generation, more and more people nowadays are pretty okay with tattoos. And like many younger generations feel like, oh, it's actually pretty cool to have a tattoo on them, right? As long as it's not on the face, that is fine, right? So, like for example, for me, I don't have any tattoos, to be honest, but I feel like having tattoo is a pretty cool thing. I'd love to have some like beautiful pattern, kind of like feminine type of tattoo on the back, if one day, you know. Yeah. 汉文化刺青是行. That is also true. Ray, good to see you. Long time no see. Yeah, so there's a Chinese friend saying that in ancient China, okay, just so you guys don't, for you guys' knowledge, in ancient China, having tattoo is actually considered to be something as a punishment to people who has committed a crime. Sometimes it's not someone who's committed crime, something, just because in ancient China, in our many of our dynasty, there's always the emperor, right? Everything is obedient to the emperor. So if there's someone who has done anything wrong that makes the emperor unhappy, the emperor could actually just do any punishment he wishes to the people, to the person. That's in ancient China. So having tattoo on the face, especially on the face, okay, is considered to be a punishment in ancient China. Yeah, so that's why, like I guess it's one of the reason, right? Like in ancient history of China, just because of that, right? So for example, in ancient China, one way of emperor punish one person is having, for example, a tattoo on here, saying something like humiliation, like write a word of humiliation, write a word of something that is like really humiliating, you know, as a punishment. So we can guys hear me, my friend? Can guys hear me? Can guys hear me? Yeah, someone said that we can't hear you, low voice. Yeah, what about now? Can you guys hear me now? Is it better? Yeah. So did they do that to women in China? Yes, in ancient China. Not now, okay, my friends. Not now, okay? China now is like pretty civilized. Okay, loud and clear. Thank you, Louis the cat. Okay, it's like in ancient China. Okay, in ancient Chinese history, in China's society, there was some punishment that was about like tattoo on the face, like to show the people, which is like considered as a humiliation, because it's basically by having a tattoo, you couldn't just wash it away, right? You're just basically telling people around you that you have committed a crime or you have made the emperor unhappy. So that's why you have tattoo on your face. Yeah, so that's like the kind of tradition. But nowadays it's definitely not so, right? So like people, well, older generations still not okay with tattoo. The reason why I still having a tattoo on me is just because I'm pretty sure that my mom won't accept it. So however, in my personal perspective, in my opinion, I could definitely consider having a tattoo is very, very cool. Especially if you have a like a very beautiful, very cool tattoo on, like for example, belly, on your belly, on your back, and you just show it, all of a sudden, like I definitely consider that to be very cool. Yeah, so I haven't done any tattoo yet. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do tattoo in the future, but they say that if you have done tattoo, that you cannot donate blood. There's some saying like that in China. I'm not so sure about that. Like if you have tattoo, then you cannot donate blood. Is that really true? Because someone told me before that in China, if you have tattoo, that you cannot donate blood. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, so if that is really true, then I don't want to have tattoos. You know. Yeah. Okay, tattoos can cause cancer, really? Does China have social points? No, we don't, my friend. We don't. Yeah, so well, when I first started the live stream, like every day there are so many people coming and asking about the social points. Just a quick answer to that, we don't have any social points at all, my friend. Many people in Red Note already know that, right? So I'm not going to elaborate more on that. That's just a propaganda that was told in the US and Germany specifically, I think. So we don't have anything. Yeah, so and I have no idea what social point was until like people explained to me. I was like, "Oh, okay. So that was a social point you guys thought that we had, but we don't have anything like that at all." So I was not aware of that at all. Yeah. Uh-huh. What's the real price of an iPhone in China? The price of iPhone in China is relatively speaking a little bit more expensive than the US. I think around 10% more expensive than the US, right? What's the price of the iPhone in here? Yeah, because I know nowadays like we have lots of like subsidies for purchasing stuff and shopping centers. So after those subsidies, I'm not sure like how much does an iPhone cost here in China. So usually it's more expensive, definitely more expensive than the US. So that is why like there are lots of people in China who would ask friends in the US to buy an iPhone for them and had it send it back to China, like by person. Okay. So for the example, if I have a friend who's going to the US for a business trip and will come back, then I probably would just ask the friend to buy an iPhone and just take off all the packages, just really like use it, right? Otherwise it's going to be like smuggle, right? And then and then give the iPhone back to me as a gift, something like that, as a way to buy a cheaper iPhone, you know. Hmm. Not to be invasive, but do people in China hate the US? No, not at all, Ratty. We don't hate the US, or actually we don't hate American people. Ratty, to answer your question, do people in China hate the US? It's never about the people, okay, my friend. Chinese people don't hate American people. As a matter of fact, Chinese people like American people. So many people are not aware of that because many Americans told me in the live stream that when you guys were little, in some areas, people were educated that Chinese people were your enemy and that Chinese people treated you as the bad guys. That's actually not true at all, my friend. Because in China, when we were little, we were educated a lot that like American people are our friends, especially during the World War II, which was in the history, right? We studied that in our history lesson. Okay, we studied that in I'm not a bad guy, big DJ. That was great. I was educated that way. Oh, I'm sorry for that. Right. That's definitely nonsense, my friend. Definitely nonsense. Okay. So, like in our history lesson, we learned a great deal about World War II. Okay, I have actually elaborated a lot about that in my previous lives, but since people raised that question, I'm gonna just repeat it again in the live stream today. Okay, so in World War II, what happened is that China was greatly invaded by another country, which was Japan. And as a matter of fact, Japan was also the enemy to the US. So back then in World War II, US actually sent lots of soldiers in China to help China defend the country and fight against the Japanese. There was a general called Sha something, I forgot. Like there was a general and also like sent so he was actually already retired, but he was able to gather a troop called Flying Tigers. Flying Tigers, like they drives the, how do you say 战斗机? Oh my god, I'm having problems with my English. Okay, so sending the troop to China called Flying Tiger and like fight together alongside with Chinese against the Japanese. So we still remember that history, and because of that, Chinese people are pretty nice to American people. Fighter jet, yeah, exactly. Fighter jet, yes, yeah, a fighter jet troop called Flying Tigers back then. Yeah, my first time in China, I was overwhelmed by the friendliness of the people. Really, right? Yeah. So, where are you from, my friend? Who said that in the comments? Yeah. So, so does the Chinese people hate the Japanese? Yes, we do. it's not a, it's not to the individual Japanese. It's like overall speaking to the entire nation. Because up to today, like Japanese people have killed millions and millions of Chinese people. So I think Japanese overall speaking in World War II killed 10 million Chinese people. 10 million is like the number of people, for some European countries, right? Some European countries even don't have like up to 10 million people. So that's the how many people they killed back then in World War II. Basically just massacred, well, if you consider the population of European country, basically just massacred an entire nation. Right. But people in China has a lot of population, right? So that's why like still the Chinese nation survived, right? So somehow like in World War II, Americans are side by side with the Chinese people. And also, if you look at the history, American people also helped build lots of the great infrastructure in here. For example, one of the biggest, the most famous university, the best university, one of the definitely the top university. So there are two top university. One is Peking University, and the other one is Tsinghua University. So Tsinghua University, the original version of Tsinghua University was actually established by U.S. Western Western missionaries, I think, Western missionaries, and then somehow, somehow later on, I think who come in, who come in? Is it Rockefeller Foundation or whom come in and then somehow take charge of it and then build the university? And also, it happens same as one of the best hospital in China, which is Beijing 协和医院. So Beijing 协和医院 was also, I think, set up by Americans or like later on built by Americans before and somehow become the best hospitals. So in China, Chinese people definitely treat Americans as our friends. That is for sure. So that is why, like, when you guys saw the live stream of iShow Speed, like, which is one of the biggest KOLs in the US, right? Come to China, like people just welcome him so much, right? Like overwhelmed. There are also like friends in the comment who said that, you know, who said that, oh, when I first visited China, I was overwhelmed by the friendliness of the people here in China, right? 清朝银两，清朝花，建了很多学校. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I show speed. When I show speed visit China, he is definitely an American, right? So Chinese people warmly welcomed him. And also, no matter where I show speed go, like for example, he needs to call for a taxi, he needs to buy waters in supermarket, he purchased some like desserts in the dessert shop. Like Chinese people just say, hey, I'm gonna pay for you because you're our friend, you're our guest. I want you to have the perfect experience here in China. So that's why I am not gonna let you pay. I'm gonna pay everything for you. So that's a Chinese culture. Like Chinese people are very friendly, very welcoming, like foreign friends. Because it's also in our tradition, in our culture, the Confucius. Like, have you guys heard about Confucius? For my foreign friends, do you guys know Confucius? Stop talking, take a breath, and relax. Oh, sure. How does that sound? Yeah, yeah. Why was the Great Wall of China built? Yeah, sure, Nathan, come back to that later. Okay. Yeah, that's also a pretty interesting question. Yeah, so Chinese people, Confucius, you guys know about Confucius, right? Confucius is definitely pretty famous, even in the Western world. Vaguely, but okay, Confucius is a person, okay, a very famous philosopher in ancient China. So Confucius is basically just like your Aristotle, your Plato, you know, but he's from China. Okay, Confucius is the Chinese version of Plato, Chinese version of Aristotle, So he's a very famous philosopher, and he come up with many things, many philosophy that any ordinary people can understand. So he introduced many concepts and taught many of the Chinese people here in China to be, for example, polite, to know that having lots of knowledge is very important, studying is very important, and also taught Chinese people to be very modest, right? And also tell Chinese people that we need to show welcome to people from other countries. So, for example, one of the Confucius saying is 有朋自远方，不亦乐乎 right? Every Chinese people have learned about this saying by Confucius, which is if we have friends from coming afar, nothing makes us even happier. And also there's another saying like no Chinese people don't know about, which is 三人行必有我师, which means that if there are three people going, like I'm one of these three people walking on the street, the rest two of them must be at least one of them that can be my teacher, which basically means that people need to be very modest, right? And guys, follow me, please, okay? Follow me, please. Yeah. So that is like the Confucius saying. So that is also why, like every Chinese people, like I said, everyone learn about this saying, 有朋自远方来，不亦乐乎, right? Everyone know about it. So that's why it's in the deep root of Chinese people. It's carved in our bone, carved in our heart that we know every Chinese need to be very friendly to people from other countries. Yeah. So no matter is Speed coming to China, or it's the other KOLs coming to China, or it's just an ordinary people from other countries coming to China, Chinese people just treat you guys like very nicely. So say for example, if any one of you guys are coming to China or have already come to China, I'm not sure if you have encountered, for those of you who have already come to China, foreigners, have you ever encountered a moment that the Chinese people are just very generous and just say that, okay, I'm just going to pay something for you? No, 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 no need to pay me back. Okay, I just want to treat you and just go, something like that, my friend. So for those of you who have been to China, I don't know if you have experienced that because things like that is pretty common. Like Chinese people, when we show our friendliness, like we are like really generous to many of the foreigners. Yeah. So if you plan to visit China, you know, for example, if you don't know how to pay to in a convenience store to buy some chocolate bars and some water, and there's a Chinese people beside you, and like you're having problems, like he probably would just pay everything for you and say like, okay, it's fine, just take it, it's all me. That's something that Chinese people would usually do. Yeah, so we are pretty generous and pretty friendly. And conclusion to that question, Chinese people do treat Americans as our friends. Okay, yeah. So yeah, let me see, there are so many questions. So there was also a question before that's asked like, why was Great Wall built? 儒家文化已经成中华文明的内核了，确实是。Yeah. Also, someone asked like, why was Great Wall built? Does anyone know like why was Great Wall built? 有谁知道长城是为什么会被建成的吗？ Does anyone know like why was Great Wall built? Like Great Wall was said to be one of the world wonders, right? It was built in ancient China. It's like Great Wall, like Pyramid in Egypt. These were all considered to be world wonder. There was also a rumor saying that for people who astronauts in the spaceship could also see Great Wall from Earth from like that top, that far, right? So that's not actually not true. Okay, that's not true. Scientifically proof that astronauts could not see Great Wall from the space. Somehow, Great Wall was really big and really long, right? And that was definitely considered to be a world wonder, right? But why was Great Wall built back then? Does anyone know? Does anyone know like why was Great Wall built? Yeah, tell me in the comments. Do you know? Do you guys know? Okay, so the parts of the wall where the archers fire are aimed at China, not away from China. Uh, not really. So back then, if you look at the China, the map of the China, so the Great Wall was built, for example, in Beijing, right? In those kind of places, not only in Beijing but in other cities as well. So Great Wall was like pretty long. It's like a defense line for China. So in ancient China, the central area of the China is called Zhongyuan. For example, Beijing, and nowadays like many of the places like Xi'an, all those like So any places that is behind the Great, south of the Great Wall, the places of China, the land of China, south of Great Wall are considered to be Zhongyuan, which is the central area of China. Okay, central area of China. So 20,000 kilometers. W, you know about it, right? You know about it, right? So these are considered to be central China, or these are considered to be the very original Chinese people who lived there. So the very original, or the Han people, or the very original Chinese people, their living habit is they're just going to stay in the same place. They're going to build houses. They're going to just have their own piece of land and grow vegetables, grow wheat, living like that. So north of the Great Wall are nowadays also Chinese people. However, in ancient China, these are not the central area Chinese people. 这些不是中原人. For example, one of the ethnicities that is north of the Great Wall is the Huns. The Huns. Okay. 匈奴人. In Chinese, we call it 匈奴人, right? The Huns. And the Huns are not like the central area Chinese people. Their living habit is like they really like, setting up camps on, because they live on big prairie, right? Grasslands. So they don't have the habit of just living in one place, right? They would just move from one place to another place whenever they find a piece of land that has like great grass, where the grass could feed their cows and horses very well. They're going to just sit there, stay there, and set up camp there. And once the cows and horses have finished the entire grassland, all the grass, they're just going to move to another places and set up camps there. Yeah, they're nomads. Yeah, you're right. So the thing is about that is they don't have the habit like the central area Chinese people who knows about like how to grow vegetables, how to grow food and preserve food, and then to prevent the bad days by preserving in the good days, right? So their habit is about, wherever I go, okay, if I have run out of all the resources I have, I'm just going to invade another country and just grab the resources from them. So back then, the Huns, whenever they are running out of food, what they would do is they are going to just invade the central area of China and take away the food, the resources, the money from central area of China to them. And they're going to just live on that amount of money and resources for a long while. And then, when they are running out of that again, they're just going to come back and invade central area of China again. The thing is that the Huns are super, super good at fighting. They're the ethnicity people that's living on the horseback. Back then in ancient China, like people would just fight on horseback, right? Arches and also swords, right, on the horseback. And they are the ethnicity that is super, super good at fighting on horseback. So people in the central area, the soldiers, are no way comparable to the people from the Huns. So one way of defending themselves in central area of China back then in the history is by building a great wall. Okay, by building a great wall. China made everything, including kimchi. Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, by building a great wall. Yeah, so by having this great wall thing, which is like pretty much just like the big wall in Game of Thrones, right? The Night Watch, right? Have you guys watched the Game of Thrones, right? So in Great Game of Thrones, right, in the very north, there is a big wall, right? A very, very giant wall, so that they could defend themselves from the White Walkers, right? I'm pretty sure there are many people who have watched the Game of Thrones. So the idea of Great Wall in China was very similar to the idea of the what's the wall called in Game of Thrones. So that wall in the Game of Thrones that was used to defend the White Walkers, like very same. So the Hanses are basically just the White Walkers, and the Asian Chinese people in central area of China are basically just the night watchers. The soldiers are night watchers. Yeah, is that easy to understand? It was also to protect the silk commerce route. That's another thing. Okay, that's another thing. So silk commerce route, silk commerce. Well, actually, the Silk Road. We call it Silk Road. The Silk Road was built after the Great Wall was built. If I'm not wrong, like my Chinese friends, correct me if I am wrong. Okay, so I remember in my memory that the Silk Road was actually established, formed after found, or actually was found after the Great Wall was built. I think so. Yeah. So because back then in Han Dynasty, okay, Han 和 Hans, it's like very similar in pronunciation. In Han Dynasty, okay, 在汉朝. So Chinese in Chinese history, we have like so many different dynasties, okay, just so you guys know. Okay, does your civilization know of Tartaria? What does Tartaria mean, my friend? Tartaria mean I don't know. Okay, what is the Silk Road again? Yeah, I'm explaining Manhattan. I'm explaining. Okay, just give me a be a little more patient with me. Okay, I'm explaining what is Silk Road. Okay, so like in Han Dynasty, like China's in Chinese in ancient history, we have many dynasties. Like in each dynasty, China was ruled by one family, very similar to the Western your noble families as well, right? Like for example, in Britain, the Tudor dynasty was ruled by one family, right? And before, when it was another dynasty was ruled by another family, right? It was similar. So in Chinese history, we also have like many dynasty. In Han Dynasty, it was ruled by one family, and the family inside that family there was a very famous emperor called Emperor Wu of Han Wu Dadi, 对吧? He was like really famous in a way that he was the one who was actually able to beat the Huns that used to invaded central area of China so much, right? He was able to defeat the Huns to a way that the Huns start to grow fear to central area of China. Nothing like that happened in before because the Huns are never afraid of central area of China. They will always invade. So when it was Emperor Wu of Han, China was like really strong and they were like, okay, we have enough money and military power. I'm not gonna let the Huns to invade Han dynasty, our country, ever again. So he was the emperor that was finally able to just fight back severely, really destroy the Huns a lot. So before he was able to do that, he wanted to make sure that the Hans, okay, the Han Chinese, okay, the Han Dynasty China has enough alliance. So there was another country back then called Rouzhi, okay, which is nowadays the Xinjiang, okay, nowadays the Xinjiang where the Uyghurs live, okay. Xinjiang was another country. So the central area of China wanted to form an alliance with Rouzhi, which is nowadays the Xinjiang, right? Because they were also the enemy of the Huns, okay? Because Huns also invade them a lot, take away their resources a lot. So the central area of China wanted to form an alliance with the Rouzhi. So that's why they sent ambassador to come all the way to visit Rouzhi, which is nowadays the Xinjiang, to form an alliance. So when the ambassador traveled all the way from central area of China to 肉汁 which nowadays 新疆，对，就是你写的这个粤式，好像读法是读肉汁。Yeah, and travel all the way to that. This road becomes Silk Road. Okay, this road is called Silk Road. Okay, so I guess the reason why this road is called Silk Road is because when this path was discovered, right? Ambassador walked all the way to 肉汁. This becomes a great road to connect Rouzhi and central area of China. And they discovered that in Rouzhi, they actually have lots of like herbs, right? For those of people who are from Xinjiang or who have been to Xinjiang, know that the cuisine in Xinjiang, like I am a huge fan of the food in Xinjiang because in Xinjiang they have lots of spices when they make food, right? And guys, follow me, please, okay? Follow me, please, if you haven't done so, okay, guys, follow me, please. Yeah. So in Xinjiang, they have lots of like spices, and all those herbs like spices are not available in central area of China. So they actually exported lots of like herbs to central area of China. And what are the things like central area of China export to them, to Xinjiang? The silk, right? So we have lots of silk that's like very Chinese made. So the central area of China exported the silk to Xinjiang, right? So that's why this route is called the Silk Road. Okay? Yeah, so that answers the question. 昨天才吃了大盘鸡，又大盘鸡太好吃了，新疆的大盘鸡太好吃了。我回上海以后，我都找不到好吃的大盘鸡，就再也没吃到新疆的那么好吃的大盘鸡。I grew up in Xinjiang, living in Suzhou now. Okay, Echo. Oh, I'm so jealous that you were able to grow up in Xinjiang because the food in Xinjiang is absolutely amazing. Yeah, let's talk about Hawaii. Sure, my friend. Well, do you have any knowledge about Hawaii you want to share? I've only been to Hawaii once. I've actually said about it. So been to so there is wait. No. I haven't been to Hawaii. I've been to Miami. Yeah. Is there anyone like me, Chinese friends, like who always confuse Hawaii and Miami? Like these two places are like always considered to be like tourist attraction place, like tourist destination, right? So I sometimes just confuse with oh Hawaii, Miami, and also the tone of pronouncing these two city names are like really similar. Miami, Hawaii, you know. Yeah, that's pretty, yeah, I've never been to Hawaii. Well, talking about that, but I've been to Miami. Yeah. How about Chongqing? What do you want to know about Chongqing, my friend? Yeah, what do you want to know about Chongqing? Lamb skewers in Xinjiang. Yeah, delicious. Mark, have you been to Xinjiang? Miami is my home. Oh, really? Miami is your home. Yeah. Well, I remember watching your video, seeing your video. Like, I do feel like Hector, you do have kind of like Miami vibes in you. Yeah, I feel like the Miami people are like very chill. Remember back then when I was in Miami, I saw like many people walking on the street, basically just with bare feet. I still remember like people walking on the street with bare feet. Yeah, when you don't see that here in China, like people are always wearing the shoes. Even in our Hainan Islands, like don't people don't just walk on the street bare feet, right? So, but I remember back in Miami, I saw people just walking on the street, just wearing, for example, ladies just wearing bikini, or guys just wearing a boxers and just walk on the street, like pretty chill. I really like the vibes in Miami. Yes, last December, right? Terrific, Mark. How do you like Xinjiang? How do you like Xinjiang? Well, as a foreigner who visits Xinjiang, how does it feel? How did it feel? Yeah, I wanted to know. 迈阿密是佛罗里达州，是半岛。Yeah, I know that, Stanley. I know that, Stanley. It's just that because the names Miami equals Florida City, Hawaii equals state. Yeah, well, actually, honestly, I know these, my friend. But thanks still for telling me that. I know these. However, it's just that I sometimes still confuse them with each other. So, for example, also in China, for example, around Shanghai, there is Zhejiang province and also Jiangsu province. Both provinces are very close to Shanghai. And people are like lots of people, well, especially people from other areas of China, they just confuse Zhejiang with Jiangsu because they are so adjacent to each other. And like people never know like what's the principal city for Zhejiang, what is the principal city for Jiangsu, and they confuse it a lot. Yeah. Black Ghost. What is Black Ghost, my friend? Yeah, have no ideas. Yeah. Is there any Chinese friends who are like that? Always confused, like don't know like Nanjing is the principal city for which province? Like, is there any Chinese friend like that? I'm pretty sure there are. Why are you keep on saying Black Ghost? What do you mean? Yeah. Stop interesting your podcast. Thank you, my friend. Let's see what the other questions we have in here. Yeah, so thank you. You guys are actually teaching me as well. Are Swiss watches made in China too? I don't know. Like lots of things are made in China. Yeah. Lots of things are made in China. China is the biggest manufacturing country in the world. And not only that, we have lots of manufacturing factories here in China, we also have very skilled laborers in China. And Chinese people, overall speaking, are very hardworking. And so that is why that we're able to produce, manufacture so many things at such fast speed. However, still at a very low cost. Yeah. Florida doesn't raise ordinary people. Yeah, so I heard about that saying as well. Like there is a saying in China which is said 佛罗里达不养闲人. I have heard about that saying, but to be honest, I have no idea what does that mean. So there's a saying in China called Florida doesn't raise ordinary people. 佛罗里达不养闲人. But I don't know. Like, can you guys tell me, like in China, why do people say like Florida doesn't raise ordinary people? What does that mean? Like, does it mean like in China, like we feel Florida people are very intense? Have no idea about that. Yeah, yeah. So for new friends in here, hello. Here in Africa, we love China. Thank you, Moni. Yeah, yesterday, there were people saying that why China invade Africa. Like Moni, can you actually just tell in the comments that do you consider China invading Africa? I don't think so, my friend. Florida raised a SpongeBob character. Yeah, that is very interesting. Yeah, so I remember back then I heard this story about Florida. which is Florida and Cuba, right? There was like some like you know some like strategies played back then by two sides, right? For example, so the relationship between these two countries are not so good, and then somehow like Florida said that okay, as long as that's national, that's if someone's nationality is from Cuba, then this person could just come to USA and Florida directly without any application, and will get a citizenship immediately. And somehow like Cuba played it really really right, and what they did is they just sent the all the how to say 囚犯 how to say all the 囚犯怎么说囚犯还有精神病者 send all the people with mental health issues and also the people who are in their jails all the way to Florida. I remember reading the story about that. Yeah. Search for Florida man without quotes. Okay, sure. Yeah, so somehow like that. Yeah. But not too much about politics, my friend. Yeah, that's all for it. Yeah. Unfortunately, the entire US is crazy as Florida. Oh, okay, so Florida is known to be crazy. Florida's craziness is just more visible. Wait, what do you mean? Like Florida is considered to be a crazy state? Like, hi guys, tell me, like, why do you guys say like Florida is crazy? Yeah, I only know that every year Florida always have like hurricanes, right? Florida is always the state that has lots of hurricanes. That's what I know. Yeah, no, it isn't nitrix. Okay, yeah, have no idea about that because there are people saying that. Hi, what time you speaking as well? Okay, it's 8:18. It is considered to be a very lucky number here in China. And so now it's a lucky time, which is 8:18. Okay, so that's the time, friends. You need to follow me, okay? Yeah, follow me, guys, please. Yeah. Florida is the Australia of United States. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by Florida is the Australia of United States? What's the general perception? Sorry, guys. Oh my god，突然呛到了。Sorry, guys. Oh my god.啊，Thank you guys。确实啊，中气不足哦，中气不足咋办呢？Oh my god, I'm crying after the coughing. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, my friend。确实有点中气不足了，要那个提一下中气。Time for Chinese medicine to raise my 中气的气，黄芪泡水。对，但是一喝黄芪泡水就又会上火。It's hard to keep the balance of my body, but I could feel like I lacking the qi in my body, which is the Chinese medicine. 感冒已经好了，好了，但是感觉就是挺伤的。每次一得这种大的这种病，然后就会比较伤。Yeah, Florida has crazy weather and dangerous animals. What kind of animals are there in Florida? What kind of animals in Florida? And what's the general perception of Australia? Why do people say that, Florida is like the Australia of the United States? We make fun of Florida here because they are so goofy down there. Okay, interesting. You guys, this is new knowledge. We don't know about that. 吃理中父子丸。OK，我来去研究一下什么是理中父子丸，第一次听到。Yeah, was Australia was a panel colony. What is panel? PENA. What does it mean? Yeah. 我在香港碰过你，是吗？是吗？Yeah, good to see familiar faces. Let me see. Yeah. Drink some good Chinese tea. Yes, I will. I will. Okay, a super common sense in the US is a clip of Bugs Bunny sawing off Florida. What do you mean? Like, I have no idea what you're saying. we make fun of Florida. Okay, yeah, okay. Florida man, okay, sure. That's a stereotype about the Florida, right? Yeah. OK，哇，我是打算练一下八段锦的。我觉得要提中期的话，得练八段锦。哦，我们还换了微信吗？是吗？真的？哦，Penal Colony is jail country. Wait, Florida is the also the places where like in ancient time that they have sent prisoners to? Really? Well, I don't know about that. Well, I feel like the Florida, when I think about Florida, I always think about like sunshines, like like very chill people because when talking about Florida, Miami is the first city that first Miami, right? Not Hawaii, right? Yeah, Miami is the first city that comes up my mind. I feel like, oh, like a very chill place and very chill people and like very nice weather, like sunny days, So Cuba, oh, okay. Yeah, I shared about that story, right? So what I know is right. Okay, interesting. But still, like there are people like I guess in the US when you guys want to have holidays, many people would go to Miami, right? Would go to Florida to take some rest. I'm in Miami right now, right? Enjoying the sunshine, right? So 练一练门道养生拳。中国的宝宝们还有没有什么这个提中气的办法？来给我点提中气的建议呀。All right, easy on Florida. Okay, Hector said, all right, guys, easy on Florida. Cuba opened the prisons and nut houses way back and sent them over to Florida. Yeah, I know about this history. I read about it. I feel like, oh my God, people in Cuba are so, so, so clever, they're so clever back then, so like American people are saying like, you know what, no matter who you are, as long as you are from Cuba, you have Cuban nationality, like the US opens the door to you, you could just come in here and be our citizens, something like that. And then the Cuba said, all right, if you want to do that, I'm just gonna send all my worst people to you. I'm just gonna send my prisoners and also my mental health issue problems peoples to you. Yeah, I remember reading that story, and then somehow later on they just have to cancel that policy, something like that. I remember that. Yeah. Okay, Florida is a swing state. Okay. Yeah. Britain sent its convicts to Australia and established New South Wales in 1788. Yeah, yeah. About that, I also know about it. Like back then, Britain sent all the Australian prisoner as a way of punishment, but at the same time also solving this problem of having too many prisoners in their prison, right? Yeah, so I know that. She's gorgeous and beautiful. Thank you, my friend. All the capitalists from Cuba got really mad and moved to Florida, and now they call everyone communist. Okay. Oh, sorry, I lost you for a minute. You're doing great. Thank you, my friend. Yeah. They have never stopped their policy, like by saying they, who. You're my new Wikipedia. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay, yeah. 对对对，就是这种感觉。古巴，你喜欢挖人是吗？行，我把我的人给你。就我当时看到这段故事的时候，我真的觉得古巴人太厉害了，真的是太聪明了。Yeah, greetings from Belgium. Hi, my friends from Belgium. I've been to Belgium. Yeah, I've tried the chocolate and the Brussels and Belgium. Oh my God, the mussels are so delicious. Still remember the mussels cooked in garlic white wine, right? That's my favorite flavor. Yeah, Belgium. Yeah, it's just stunning. Thank you, my friend. Hola. Bienvenido, mi amigo. Bienvenido, mi amigo. Share the live room. Thank you. Guys, follow me, please, okay? Follow me, please, if you haven't done so. And also, definitely send in likes. Tap the screen to send in likes. And also, share the live stream if you find it interesting. Australia was once a penis colony. What do you mean, Edwin? What do you mean by that? Yeah, I have no idea. You should try Southern food from the US. I have tried, my friend. Because, I told people in the live stream that I have done exchange program in Texas, in Austin, University of Texas in Austin. So I've done a exchange program. So that is South America, right? South America. And I still remember I had steaks in Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, Texas Roadhouse. And well, to be honest, instead of the bread, I actually really like instead of the steak, I really like the bread they serve for free in Texas Roadhouse. Like super, super delicious bread. Yeah. Have you tried plant-based food? What do you mean by plant-based food? Yeah. I've been an OZ for years. What is OZ, right? He means panel. Okay. Okay. Okay, so panel panel country, okay? Be accurate, my friend. Be accurate. When you say like, I'm like, what do you mean by that? Yeah. Yeah, panel country, okay? Not peanuts country. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah. You speak Spanish? Guess, amigo. Do I speak Spanish? Bienvenido, mi amigo. Yeah. We don't say South America. That's, yeah, I know, like South part of America. Like South part of America. Like, because people said that I should try like Southern American food. So that's why I said I've been to Southern America, like the South part of America, Texas, right? The South part. Well, okay, Texas is not South America. Well, I know, like, guys, South America refers to South America refers to like Brazil, Chile, those countries, right? I know. I'm saying that just as a reply to people who are asking me, like, if I have tried any Southern American food, right? Well, okay, let's do it. Like Southern American food, are you guys saying like Southern American food equals South America food? Or Southern American food equals Southern States of America food. What does it mean? Okay, new knowledge entered my brain. What knowledge? I think you say Southern, yeah, Southern American food means Southern US food or South America food, my friend. Southern US is Texas. Yeah, right. I've been to Texas. I've tried the food in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Southern America means Southern US, right? So I'm right. Cute necklace. Thank you, my friend. You like it, right? Necklace. Yeah. Yeah. So I think the southest part of America I've been to is Key West. Key West. So they say that if you are in Key West, if you look really far, you could actually see Cuba. I'm not sure about that. Yeah. Like Southern US versus South American. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 哈哈哈，好像我的脑子进了一些知识。你们到底进了啥知识啊？你们听到了些啥知识？Yeah, sometimes you just say Southern food. Okay, thanks, my friend, for telling me. Yeah, I like your shirt. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, I would love to go China. Love your smile. Yeah, please come. I said already, like Chinese people are super, super friendly and super welcoming and very generous. You have traveled a lot. Yes, I have traveled a lot. I've been to so many countries. Yeah, there are so many places I haven't been. I really want to visit Africa. Any African friends in here? Any African friends in here? I really want to go to Africa. Yeah, I've only been to Morocco, which is an Africa country. However, I haven't really been to like Africa and Africa, right? That's definitely chain areas. Yeah, chain areas. Yeah, so I really want to visit Africa and watch the animal migration. In summertime, I really want it. South USA food is called Southern American food, right? Yeah, my understanding about Southern American food is right. I lived in South Africa, Namibia, and Uganda. Oh, I'm so jealous, Louis the cat. You have been to so many countries. Well, not only have you been to so many countries, you have actually lived in so many countries. Well, I'm so jealous of that. I wish that I could just be like you. So the kind of ideal life I want is that from time to time I could just live in one place. For example, stay in one place for several months and then move to another place for several months. I just try the life in different countries. That's the ideal life that I want. Jamaica, yeah, great, my friend. I love to visit Jamaica one day. Have you been to Nepal? No, my friend. Going to Yunnan province in May. Fantastic, my friend. Welcome to Yunnan province. So for those of you who haven't been to Yunnan province, definitely go check it out, okay? Yunnan is definitely considered to be one of the most beautiful province in China. And inside Yunnan, you get to see all sorts of different sceneries. In some parts of the Yunnan, you see beautiful snow mountains. In some part of Yunnan, you see beautiful lakes, Luguhu, right? So Yunnan is definitely a place that's definitely worth visiting, my friends. Yeah. I do all my traveling on YouTube. That's very interesting. But you never say Southern American food. Oh, South American food, but you never say Southern American food. Wait, you guys are teaching me very different things. Now, some people say you say Southern American food. Some people say you don't say Southern American food. Which one is right? Yeah. What about Fujian province? Fujian province. Well, actually, I have never been to Fujian province myself, even though I'm Chinese. I've never been to Xiamen, Fuzhou, these Fujian province, but they have like good food there. Mingnan Cai is pretty good. Yeah, Fujian has also great food. Not so sure about the beautiful sceneries. If they have beautiful sceneries, I've never been there. 福建人好吃. Yeah, and also like in Fujian area, when they say their local dialects, it looks like in their language there's no difference between the sound of F and the sound of H. Right. Oh, you can speak Mingnanhua, right? So for example, like I'm fine, right? It's the F, right? I'm fine. Fine and hein, the F and H sounds, they sometimes really mix it. Yeah, so for example, 福建人, they would say 福建人. That's right. And also very interesting, when I in my university years, there was like one of my friend, he's from Fujian, and it was so interesting that so they did an exchange program in Germany. Like I did it in the US, right? They did it in Germany. So there are a bunch of people. So I asked him like, "Hey, who did you go with you to do the exchange program in Germany?" Oh, and then he started to say like, "Oh, okay, someone," and then someone's name is like should be like Fang Junwei, and then he said, "Oh, Huang Junwei," and I was like, "Oh, I don't know someone called Huang Junwei, but I know someone whose name is called Fang Junwei," and he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, that's the person I'm talking about," because they mix the sound of Fang and Huang, yeah, the F and H word, yeah. So I also wonder, like for Fujian people, when they learn English, how do they pronounce the F word? you know, do they pronounce the F word in the right way, or they actually pronounce it with the H sound, then that's gonna be hawk you, right? That's gonna be hawk you, right? Yeah. So they actually mix those two sounds. Uh, well, where my girlfriend is in Xiamen City and speaks Hokkien as well. Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah. Going to China for shopping spree. What do you mean by shopping spree? Yeah, hockey. yeah. Yeah, we cannot say the F word, but we can say hawk, right? yeah. Hello from Mexico. Hi, my friend from Mexico. How come you have no accents? Yeah, like many people say that I don't have an accent. Like, really? Are you guys just just being nice, or like is really true that I don't have accents? Like many people say, like many Americans say that I don't have accents, but as a matter of fact, I feel like my English is not that good to a point that I don't have accent at all. Like I feel like I still have accent. Like, do you guys feel like I have accent? Because there are Chinese people in here in the live stream said that I have a Chinese accent, and sometimes some Chinese people in here said that I have very strong Chinese accent. That is not true. That right? I don't think I have a very strong Chinese accent, but I consider myself to have some Chinese accent. But it's usually the Americans who come in and say that I have no accent. And some Americans, even when they are guessing where I'm from, like they just guess that I'm from America, and they say that I am American. Yeah. I say I hear a slight accent on 1% of the words you speak. Okay. Oh, okay. That's a really, really big compliment on like how well I speak English, my friend. Yeah. And also because I'm Chinese, right? So I don't speak like Americans, right? That you guys would use lots of slangs, right? Use lots of fancy words, right? My vocabulary is not as rich as like real Americans, right? So I tend to use simple words when I speak English. And then also like I have like very little accents, right? Pretty decent accent when I speak English. So somehow my live stream is considered to be a very good tutorials for people who want to speak English, want to learn English. There are many people come in and say that, oh, you know what? Well, I actually don't really understand English a lot, but somehow when I come to your live stream, I could understand everything you say. Many Chinese people say that. 你会印度口音吗? There are people asking me if I can speak Indian accent. I'm not very good at mimicking foreign accents. Indian accent. Do you do you have accent? no, not really. Accent. Well, Indian accents is pretty hard to copy, right? But I know like Indian people like to shake their hand, right? Shake their head, right? So Well, actually, the Indian way of shaking the head is like very different from how we shake our hand, right? Head, not hand, right? So, for example, when we shake our head, it's like we shake our head like this, right? But the way, like, because when I was little, right, I read an article said that no matter it's yes or no, like Indian people basically just shake their head. Right? Like, then how are you able to know it's yes or no, right? So Chinese people, when we do nod and we shake, basic same as like American people or like other countries, right? We say yes or no, yes or no, right? And then later on, I started to grow this strong interest in watching Indian movies. I really like Indian movies, especially those like top rating Indian movies, like Three Idiots. Have you guys watched Three Idiots? And I watched like many Indian movies, and I realized that the way they nod and they shake their head is like a combination of two. It's like that. It's like that, right? Yes, no, it's like that, right? Yeah, so that's why they say, so the way how they shake their head is different from how we shake our head and how we nod our head, right? So that's pretty interesting. Like they do like that, yeah. And also, like Indian movies actually have lots of beautiful songs. Yeah, and I'm always amazed by all those like Indian actresses. How are they able to sing songs like with beautiful, beautiful voice? Yeah, beautiful voice. Everybody tap the screen, guys. Yeah, thank you, George, Javier. Yeah, I'm Yahan. 对对对, I'm Yahan. Yes. Yeah. Guys, follow me, please. Okay, follow me, please. You haven't done so. Okay, guys, definitely follow me. Have you followed me? Yeah, definitely follow me. Okay, definitely follow me. Yeah. Do Chinese people always use the same head shakes for yes and no in the West? Yeah, same. Very same. It's like not yes, right? And no. Yeah. I've been to many countries in the West, so I know how people in the West use like nodding and shaking the head to means yes and no. So that in that sense, it's definitely yes. But there is something in Chinese that's very different from the Western world. So when we say, let me see, okay, you, okay, so like for example, when we say like you don't like this earrings, for example, you don't like this earrings, do you? Right. For example, then for that question, for example, you don't really like it. Okay. When I say like you don't like this earring, do you? What's the answer? What's the answer to answer that in English, my friend? Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments. When I say you don't like this earring, do you? What do you say? Say you. Well, if you don't really like it, like what do you answer? You would say no, I don't. Right? You say no, I don't. Right? When I say like, do you? You don't like the earring? Do you actually say no? If you don't like it, you say no, I don't, right? You say no, I don't, right? In the Western worlds. However, in Chinese, it's yes, I don't. Yes, I don't. Okay. So when I say like when you don't like it, do you? In the Western in English, it's like no, I don't. In Chinese, it's like first I have to, say agree with what you said. Like you said, I don't like it. I agree with you that I don't like it. So I would say yes. And then I say I don't like it. Yeah. So it's very interesting. So that was the 7年留子并不会用 yes and no 打句. Yeah, there was a very interesting joke. So back then, when I the first time visited Australia, I was sick. So in the hospital. So the doctor was checking me like whether my body was okay. So they were actually checking my feet somehow. Like they were asking me like, "Hey, do you feel the pain in your feet?" And I said, "No, I don't feel the pain." And then they say like, "You don't feel the pain, right?" As I said, yes, I don't feel the pain, right? I said yes. And then they was like, so you do feel the pain? I said, no. And then the doctor said, so you don't feel the pain, right? And I said, yes, so like he's very confusing and I was really confusing. And then all of a sudden I remember like, right, oh, okay, in English, it's the other way around, right? It was not like, yes, I agree with you, I don't feel the pain. It should be like, no, I don't feel the pain. So once I realized that, and I said, no, I don't feel the pain. And when he said, like, you don't feel the pain, right? I said, no, I don't feel the pain. Okay, so the communication is like fine, like everything is smooth, right? 太经典了，对不对？你也碰到过这种情况，是不是 Ray? You have also experienced something like that, right? So it was so funny. Like we actually had this yes and no conversation for around like 5 minutes until I realized, okay, it's because like Chinese way of saying it and English way of saying it is completely different, right? When we say like you don't something, Do you, like Chinese people would first agree that yes, I don't, da 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 da, and then say I don't, right? And for the foreigners, it's like no, I don't. So that's like very different, right? 你就说过 yes and no, 这肯定的，肯定的 for sure, right? So the back then when I was in hospital and doctor was checking whether I do feel the pain or not of my food, he's asking like you don't feel the pain, right? And I was like, yes, I don't feel the pain. And he's like, so you do feel the pain? I said, no, I don't feel the pain. Like it's always like lots of confusion. Yeah, that's the China, like America thing. Yeah, sometimes you cannot use two negative words in the same sentence. Instead you say nor. Well, I don't know about that. Well, can you give me a very specific example of that? Give a very specific example of that. Yeah, yeah. 直接陈述后面那个确认 yeah. Have you heard the English comedy sketch Who's on First? That this reminds me. No, I don't know. I haven't heard about it. 我就跳过 yes and no. Yeah, yeah. You guys don't know about that, right? So when you guys come to China, my friend, if you ask the Chinese people about this yes and no, like you don't do those kind of questions, just remember, like you should think the other way around, or just skip the yes and no. Just come directly to the conclusion. That may be a better way. Yeah. Uh-huh. 我是英国人，我爱中国. Thank you, Dom. We like UK as well. Like I did my master's degree in UK, in London. And London used to be my favorite city. Well, now it becomes one of my favorite cities because I have so many other cities I really like. But before, London was my favorite city because it was so international. Like you just go to London and it's so rich in culture and it has like so many different stuff in it that you get to enjoy, right? The music, the art, the history, the culture, right? The palace, the royal families. Well, that's not something you enjoy, but like you guys get what I mean, right? Am I forex trader? Am I able to trade if I live there? Are trading websites blocked there? So, Mr. Bay, just so you know, if you really want to trade, there are ways for you to trade FX. There are many FX traders here in China as well. So, I'm pretty sure you can do FX trading. It's just that maybe you have to find the websites that can be used here in China. So, you could also use the kind of websites you're using now, and say, for example, if they are really blocked in here, there are still ways for you to get access to those trading websites. However, I know like for traders, speed is very important, right? Because the moment you are not able to get the trade done, then the price is gone, right? So for that, we'll definitely set up the internet well in order to have FX trading in here. Okay. Yeah. So I also work in the finance industry, so I know a bit of that. Yeah. Oh, Sean, why are you saying that I'm not Chinese? Oh, am I Chinese, my friend? Am I Chinese? My friend, tell me in the comment, am I Chinese? Yeah, I look Chinese and speak Chinese. I was born in Shanghai, grew up in Shanghai, went to university in Shanghai, and now still working in Shanghai, you know. Of course, that's Portuguese. We tend to repeat. I'm not sure why, but it's funny. What do you mean? Like Portuguese tend to repeat. In Brazil, sometimes I say no, don't like it. No. Okay. What's on second? What do you mean by what's on second? Are you asking about the trading? Yeah. Yeah. Would you rather speak five languages fluently or play five instruments fluently? Well, I would definitely rather speak five languages rather than play five instruments because, like, I am definitely an extrovert. So if I can speak five different languages, that means that I could basically travel everywhere in the world, right? And have no problems communicating with local people. Right. So definitely five languages. What do you guys like? If you could, would you rather speak five languages fluently or play five instruments? What's your pick? My friend, tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments. Do you prefer to speak five languages or play five instruments? I actually can speak four. Wow, that is very amazing. You can speak four. What are the four languages you could speak, my friend? Tell me. What are the four languages you could speak? Yeah, language for sure, right? 我选科大讯飞一代. So there's someone Chinese friend said that because there's a brand in China called 科大讯飞 who has invented this kind of earphone that could do simultaneous translation by just wearing it. You know, you hear someone talking to you in another language, but it's like automatically translated simultaneously into your language. So when I asking like, do you prefer to speak five languages or play five instruments? And he says I prefer to have this simultaneous translation earphones. That is so funny. Portuguese, Dutch, Spanish, English. Wow. Like many European people are so talented. Like many European people I know can speak like multiple languages. That is like very amazing. Your English is great. Yeah, I can speak English. I can speak Chinese. I'm definitely Chinese. I studied in Beijing and love Cantonese and Bosnian. What is Bosnian? Well, I don't know what's Bosnian. Is it Beijing accent Chinese? What is Bosnian? I don't know. Language for sure. Yeah, I think like most people would just pick languages, right? And also, one problem of playing instrument is that you cannot play five instruments at the same time, but you can actually speak five languages at the same period of time, right? Yeah. So yeah. So that's the kind of thing. Hi, Chris. Welcome to the live. I'm from San Miguel de Allende, actually, but my boyfriend loves your content. Thank you, my friend. Have you followed me? Guys, have you followed me, my friend? Have you guys followed me? If you haven't followed me, please. Okay. What crypto do people like in China? Just so you know, like crypto is not allowed in here in China. It's completely banned. So people can actually not use any crypto in exchange to do crypto trading here in China, because when crypto was out, there was a period of time that there were lots of scams like coming out, and many of the aunties, especially the older generation, what they see is the Bitcoin price shoot rocket high, right, and drops like always like roller coaster, right? And like for those of people, like, do you guys know what is Bitcoin? Does anyone know what is Bitcoin, or you have a general perception of what is Bitcoin? Oh, Bosnian is Eastern Europe. Okay, is a country in Eastern Europe. Oh, I'm so sorry, my friend. I haven't heard about this country. Yeah, definitely gonna look it up and learn about this country. Yeah, European country. Thank you, my friend. He's Korean and Chinese. Okay. Yeah. So do you guys know what is like Bitcoin, my friend? So the concept of Bitcoin is pretty interesting, and somehow so it is not something like a coin that you really have in real life, okay? Oh, Bosnian is Bulgaria. Oh, then I know this country. Sorry, I don't know the English name of this country, but when you translate into Chinese, and I know about it. Bosnia. Oh, okay. Bulgaria is Bosnia. Interesting to know. Okay, yeah. So, for example, for like for cryptocurrency, so these are not like really a coin, right? You do see, right? So it's very interesting. Back then was a story about like lots of scams, right, in China back then, right? So basically what's one of the scam is some people were just saying that you know what, you know try to find something to use. uh, yeah. uh, Something like, yeah, some scammers are just like, you know what, this is Bitcoin and it's 100% gold, I can even bite it, there are some scammers like that. So there are too many scammers, that's why like we just banned crypto completely. Yeah. So yeah, you guys know Bitcoin, right? Well, thinking about going to visit China. What's the name of the futuristic city? Chongqing. Yeah, yeah, Chongqing. Chong and Qing. Okay, just remove the U from you. Okay, Qing. Yeah, Chongqing. Yeah, and guys, follow me, please. Okay, follow me, please. You haven't done so. Yeah, you have beautiful hands. I know, like I have very long fingers. Like my hand is definitely considered to be beautiful. I have extremely long fingers. Yeah, but I don't like to do nails. I notice like nowadays many girls like to do very long nails. To be honest, I don't really like that. Like definitely very inconvenient to have like really long nails. And also like in the US, like many of the nails are like extremely long, right? Extremely long, and sometimes using the very kind of you know color that is like very how to say 很艳的那种颜色 how to say 很艳的那种颜色 like the kind of color I don't really like. Yeah, so and honestly I don't really understand that. I don't really understand the aesthetic of having like extremely long nails and having those like really audacious kind of color on it. Like really don't understand that. So yeah, and I have like very long fingers, and I don't think I need an extra like nails to make my fingers look even longer. Yeah. You're getting ready to take us over, aren't you? What do you mean? Like, I just cut my nail because they were too long, my natural nails. Good. I like having mine done, but I keep them short enough to play guitar. Yeah, you have to like keep the nails short in order to play. Wait, for guitars, you do need some nails, right? But you can't have like too long nails, right? I see some people's nails are like these long, like this long, right? Yeah. So 你的手腕很漂亮，如果戴上我编织的海蓝宝石手链就完美了。哇塞，你还能自己编织啊，好厉害哦你！Yeah, yeah. So what do you do in your leisure time? I actually do many things in my leisure time. For example, I definitely read a lot, right? And nowadays, I no longer read. I actually prefer to just watch the videos on TikTok. But there is a like I told people before. So in China, we have this app called Selected Videos from TikTok, from the Chinese version of TikTok, 抖音精选. Yeah, for those of people who haven't downloaded, definitely download it because nowadays there are so many amazing content creators making amazing contents that is like very knowledgeable, very insightful, and share it in it. And that is definitely considered to be a faster way to absorb knowledge and to know about this world. So I actually watch that a lot. Yeah, 是的，我要为你定制一张。好，谢谢，谢谢你。I think the long nails is a fashion trend. The status, I think, yeah. So honestly speaking, like for me, I'm never a fan of like a very, very trendy stuff. I feel like I really like classical stuff. Like for trendy stuff, it's like super, super trendy. That also means it will be out of date very soon. So it's always good to be a little bit trendy, but at the same time, not so trendy. Like too trendy stuff are usually the kind of stuff that will be outdated very soon. And maybe years later, when you watch back to see what used to be like really trendy, you would actually consider yourself to be like really, really, in Chinese, we call it 很土, right? Yeah. For example, nowadays, right now in China, like French style is a pretty trendy stuff, right? However, when you are talking about those classical French style of dressing, and like for example, this hairstyle is a little bit French, right? That is like right, all right, that is fine, and these are considered to be classical, right? However, it's like really trendy hairstyle. For example, having different kinds of colors or like those very exotic hairstyle, then maybe after many years when looking back, then it's not going to be very trendy at all. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even know how to wipe your peach without those super long nails. Okay, what you're really saying is I don't even know how to wipe your ass with super long nails. Yeah, you know what, there was someone who actually taught people, a content creator taught people like how to wipe your peach with super long nails after you finish your toilet trip, and also how to press the button of the to flush the flushing button. Like when you have like, have you guys wondered, like for guys, I know there are also guys, right, and also girls who don't have like extremely long nails. Have you guys ever wondered how are you able to press the flushing button if you have like extremely long nails? Do you guys know how to do it? I never know it. I was like, how are they able to do that, right? You just press with your nails, but doesn't that really gonna hurt your nails, right? Yeah, I don't know about that. And then there's actually a content creator who specifically made videos to teach people, like after having extreme long nails, how are you able to do everything you want to? You know? Do you guys know how to do that? How do you guys know how to do that? Like when you have extreme long nails, how are you gonna press the flushing button on your toilet? 是不是要向下调整一下角度？不是的。That's actually a very smart way of doing it. Fake nails anyway. Not fake nails. Like well, fake nails, but it's already stick on the nails of your like real nails, so you cannot remove it. Yeah, I don't think nail is what you fear hurting. Yeah. So okay, so what they really do is they actually do it in a sense that they don't use like us. Like when we press like this, right? When we press the flush button on toilet, we press like this, right? Yeah, that's actually the way I do it, right? So they don't do it because they have very long nails. So they do this. They do this. They use this part of the finger to press it, and the nails is in the back, right? And they use this part to press it. And that's like really smart. So I guess like when you have like really long nails, then you have to figure it out like how to do everything. And I also remember seeing something on right now, like nowadays there's another like a keyboard product, that's specifically designed for girls with long nails. Like also for girls with long nails, like how are you gonna type on laptop, right? Because you know your nails are so long. How are you gonna touch the right button to type it, right? And they have invented some like some keyboards that has all the buttons that is like taller than usual, so that when the girls type it and also they spread farther, and then that's how you're able to type it on it so that your nails yeah won't won't interrupt you from finding the right keys. Yeah, that's definitely considered to be quite interesting. Okay, guys, follow me, please. Okay, follow me, please, and definitely sending likes. Okay, sending likes. It's almost 9 a.m. Okay, so every 1 hour they're gonna just do something like checking whether you're like which ranking. So guys, I definitely need you guys to sending likes or sending those like red the yellow tickets on red note to help me get higher rankings. Okay, get higher rankings. Yeah, interact more in the comments area, and also definitely sending the likes. Okay, so right now I'm number 41, so as long as I'm in number 40, that is fine. Okay, we have 3 minutes to go, so guys, just within the next 3 minutes, just keep on tapping the screen to sending likes. Okay, help me to reach 41. Yeah, and also send this yellow tickets, and also join my team. Okay, my friends, for those of you who haven't joined my team, definitely join my team. Okay, let's see if we can reach top 40. Top 40呀，看看能不能这个9点的时候能进40。之前每次都挺高的，然后一到9点，啪一下，其他人都拱上来了，然后就掉了。Oh, okay, you guys are amazing. Now I'm definitely within 40. Yeah, guys, keep on tapping the screen. Okay, we have 2 minutes to go. Okay, and 9. So that's when they are gonna just calculate who's the rank. Oh, you're lovely. Thank you, Louis the cat. Thank you for sending that. Yeah, guys. Okay, follow me, please. You haven't done so. Okay, follow me, please. You haven't done so, and also just keep on tapping the screen to sending likes. Okay, keep on tapping the screen to sending likes, and also join my team if you haven't done so. Okay, join my team if you haven't done so, and also send this like yellow tickets. Okay, okay. Wow, I'm already 30. My goodness, you guys are amazing. Okay, yeah, just keep on tapping the screen to sending likes and follow me, please. If you haven't done so, yeah, tap screen, guys. Yeah, tap the screen to sending likes and also join my team if you haven't done so. Okay, join my team. 加一下我的这个粉丝团，亮一下粉丝灯牌。And also, if possible, also send me some of the yellow tickets 人气票，可以送我一点人气票。OK，我们马上9点了，到了9点，我们把这个排名拱一拱上去，然后我们就可以安心的去聊接下来的话题了，好吗？Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. Thank you, 晶晶河边草. Thank you for joining my team. Just keep on tapping the screen to sending likes. It's almost 9. Okay, 1 minute to go. Okay, 1 minute to go. Help me to reach higher ranking, and that's all. And we can just keep on doing what we are doing right now before, right? So just 1 minute to go. Okay, guys, and follow me, please. Okay, follow me, please, if you haven't done so. And also join my team and tap the screen to sending likes. Just 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go. Okay, I'm already ranking 28. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, 小红薯. Thank you, my friend, for sending me so many lovely things. Yeah, tap the screen to sending likes and also join my team and also send what's it called 人气票. Thank you for Yoni. Thanks for the support as always. Yeah, just less than 1 minute to go. Okay, yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my friend. Yeah. 好啦，谢谢大家啦。OK，太感谢大家了。Yeah, that's the power of collaboration. Okay, yeah. So for those new joiners in here, just so you know, today's live is about China. If you have any questions about China, feel free to send it in. Okay, feel free to send it in. Feel free to send your questions about China in here, and we can have a discussion about it. Okay, we're gonna have a very interesting discussion about China. And if you have any question about it, if you want me to share anything about it, definitely send it in. Okay, yeah. Today's live stream is pretty relaxing, pretty easy. Unlike yesterday, definitely share lots of hardcore stuff. Today is pretty easy. Yeah. So, thank you, Louis the cat, for sending me little flowers. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah. Cheers. Yay. Thank you. Yeah. So, guys, if you have any questions about China, anything you want to know, just send in the comments. Okay. Today's live stream is really, really relaxing. So I will read a lot of comments and answer all of them if possible. Thank you，知识面也很广，英文也很棒，谢谢，谢谢 Diana for saying that. Yeah, honey, soon you quit fancy AI English will battle and dance for your gifts. That's a great opinion. Yeah, I'm so proud of you, Nitrix. We've come a long way. Yes, and you are always there, Hector, to support me. Thank you so much for the great support. Fashion industry in China, how many? Fake or real? Fashion industry is a big industry in China nowadays, and especially when Chinese people are living a better and better living standard nowadays. When well, have you guys all heard about the Maslow needs theory? 马斯洛需求理论有没有听说过？Is it called Maslow or Maslow need theory? So according to his theory, that is actually a very famous theory, right? So people will first meet the needs in the bottom, which is feed themselves, like have a full stomach, right? Have enough water to drink, right? So you have to make sure that you are first, like you are not starving, and then you're warm, like all the basic necessities. After all those necessities are fulfilled, then you'll start to realize something that is more around psychology kind of needs, psychological kind of needs, right? For example, the needs to dress up to make yourself happy, right? So because like China over the past 3 decades or 4 decades, like have experienced like massive urbanization, like great speed and economic development, right? So no, not Maxlow and Maslow. It's Maslow, right? Maslow, Maslow hierarchy of needs. Yeah, exactly. Maslow hierarchy of needs. So if you guys don't know about what is Maslow hierarchy of needs, well, actually everyone know about it. It's just that Maslow was able to put into theory. So you have to meet the needs, the basic needs of your daily lives. Yeah, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have to meet the basic needs of your life first. That's how you're able to move to the second tier of your needs and also the third tier of your needs, the top tier of your needs, right? So you actually, if you watch the history of China in the past 3 4 decades, basically what Chinese people are doing is trying to meet their needs from the very bottom to the top. Okay, so I told people like when my parents were little, right, in the 60s, in the 70s, like they were not living in a very good uh living standard, right? They don't have a very good living standard. Like everyone in China was really poor back then. And somehow like we were able to urbanize a lot of the cities in China and like build lots of technology. And somehow China has always been, adopting the right strategy. The bigger direction, China has always been in the big when it comes to bigger direction, like China was always right, right? So somehow China was able to develop the economy really at really fast speed, right? If you look at the past 3 4 decades of China, especially at the very beginning, like every year the GDP growth rate is like double digits, which is like almost like a wonder, right? It's amazing that there's a country who are able to have double digit GDP growth for like continuous years, right? That was definitely amazing. So we have lots of GDP growth, that how you are able to, when you had like great growth in the country, also all the people inside the country have better and better living standard. So that's why like around in 5 to 10 years ago, like all the Chinese society were having this one phenomenon, one thing, which is like what's it called? 消费升级, consumption upgrade, right? Why consumption upgrade? Because people have already find it very easy to meet their fundamental needs, right? So people would not find not enough food to eat, right? They have like access to fresh vegetables, fresh food, fresh meat. Like people would not worry about not having enough food to eat. Well, as a matter of fact, some people start to worry about like having too much food to eat. They start to grow fatter and also start to have like obese problems, right? So that's basically what happened in China. And then once people have already had their basic needs met, what they will do, according to Maslow hierarchy of needs, they have to move to one ranking above, right? They start to pay attention to many things. So that's why like lots of the entrepreneurs in China actually grab this opportunity and start to develop lots of the new industry. One of the industry is definitely the fashion industry, right? So for example, if you watch lots of the Chinese dramas that talked about the kind of days in the 70s or like the 60s, there are lots of like Chinese dramas that caught lots of attention and many people watch it. We call it 年代剧 that specifically picked depict the kind of lives people are living back then in the 60s and 70s, you will notice that there's no fashion at all back then because everyone was just basically wearing, cloth kind of cloth made kind of clothes, usually made by themselves, like by each household themselves, right? Because people don't have money to buy clothes, right? They can only just buy cloth and make the clothes by themselves, right? And also hierarchy, right? Okay, hierarchy of needs. Okay, hierarchy of needs. Okay, yeah. So 我看到我想说，为什么说 hierarchy？我现在能够理解了。Okay, hierarchy of needs. Okay, yeah, right. So okay, so yeah, back to the topic, right? So back then, you would notice in those Chinese TV dramas that depict the kind of lives people live in the 70s or the 60s, that everyone was basically wearing the same kind of clothes, right? No color at all, like very plain cloth made kind of clothes, right? Because back then, people don't have enough food to eat, don't have enough clothes to wear, right? Everyone was like really poor. So everything was about focusing on how to meet the basic needs, right? So later on, like people have no problems of having enough food to eat, having good clothes to wear, then they would come to pursue something higher, right? Which is whenever they eat food, it's not about eating enough food to keep my stomach full, right? It's about eating delicious food, right? And when it comes to wear clothes, it's no longer about wearing the clothes that's gonna keep myself warm. It's about wearing beautiful clothes or trendy clothes, right? So right now in China, because you're looking at a country with huge giant economy, right? So many population, and also still, like, even though like we don't have that fast GDP growth as before, still we are a country with really fast GDP growth compared to many other countries, right? So many Chinese people nowadays still have lots of savings in the bank, right? So that's why like fashion industry is pretty big in China. Many people would like to pursue a fashion. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yeah. 你好，外国美女，不是外国美女，中国美女，Jason。Jason，你关注我了吗？Yeah, guys, have you follow me? Yeah，国之大事在这个是祭祀的祀是吗？羽绒归根结底都是好好种地。Yeah, so that's why like when JD Vance said the Chinese peasants, we were like, yeah, that's fine. We are all the descendants of peasants. So what? Like you are yeah, somehow like no more politics. Yeah. Yesterday my traffic on Rednote was really limited because I talked too much about tariffs. So today is going to be like really relaxing. We could, just go back to talk about tomorrow. Yeah. Zuckerberg is being exposed now big time over his operations given data on Hong Kong. What do you mean? Like how long was the China Wall built? Because I read was about 700 years. Oh, I don't have that knowledge. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know how long was the Chinese Wall built, the Great Wall, right? You're talking about the Great Wall, right? 我叫 Jason，我来自美国。Okay, you're from America? Yeah. So, Ray, 你知道吗? Chinese friend, does anyone know like how long was the Great Wall built? Because I don't know, I don't have that knowledge, but it was good to learn. Yeah. How long was Great Wall built? 秦长城，你说这那确实是很多很多年了。Yeah. The first Great Wall was built in Qing Dynasty. Yeah. So just so you know, like Great Wall was not built in one dynasty, okay, my friend. So Great Wall was built in many different dynasties. So very beginning, for example, in Qing Dynasty, they built Great Wall, some part of Great Walls, and along the years in other dynasty, they just keep on building Great Wall, Great Wall, Great Wall. So that's why you would see like Great Walls not only in Beijing but in other cities, provinces as well. So Great Wall is pretty long, right? So different parts of Great Wall was built in different dynasties in China. Okay, at least 2,000 years. So W, to answer your question, at least 2,000 years was Great Wall was built. So some part of the Great Wall was like 2,000 years old. Some part of Great Wall was like relatively younger because different parts of the Great Wall was built in different dynasties. So I know about that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So driver, to answer your questions, we don't have that. Okay, that's a Western propaganda about those like factories. Yeah, not gonna repeat your question because that's gonna cause my live stream to be restricted. So, 几乎是明朝，对吧？Okay, wow, you guys are so knowledgeable. Okay, tell me. So the famous part that's all in the picture is the Ming part. Okay, So people are saying that, okay, I definitely need to look it up. I don't have enough knowledge about that part. So people are saying that actually the most famous part of Great Wall was all built in Ming Dynasty. Yeah, in Ming Dynasty. Yeah. Who was China trying to keep out? So back then, when Great Wall was first built, was to keep out the Huns. The Huns. So who are the Huns nowadays? Okay, who are the Huns on nowadays? Do people know? 匈奴人现在是什么人呢？匈奴人现在是什么人？嗯嗯 Who are the Huns nowadays? So the Huns are nowadays are like some of the Huns have already become the Chinese people. Some of the Huns are actually the Hungarian people nowadays. Hungarian people, and also some of the Huns are like Mongolian people. Yeah, yeah. So Hungarian people are possible descendants. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So that sounds like Hungarian people are really good at wars, right? They are the ethnicity that were really good at fighting a war because Chinese people back then, when fighting with the Huns, the Chinese people cannot fight against the, cannot beat the Huns because Huns are so good at fighting the war. Yeah, I'm Hungarian and Swedish. Okay, interesting to know that, Dave. Have you followed me? Yeah, Hungarians. Yeah, 听不懂，多听听就听懂了。我讲的英文还是很简单的。匈奴人东向被吞了，西向血脉一路流到匈牙利。OK，yeah，那我的理解是对的。So part of the Huns are actually merged into Chinese, and some other part of the Huns became Hungarians nowadays, right? Yeah. The Pope actually advocated for uniting against the Huns. Oh, really? That's a Western history? Well, I don't know about that. Yeah. So they are so good at fighting the war. So people, I guess the people around the world are just terrified of them. Yeah. They were also built for battle. Okay. Descendants from the Ural Mountains, including Hungarians, Mongolians, Finnish, and Estonians. Wow, people in my live stream, you guys are so knowledgeable, my friend. So knowledgeable. 怎么锻炼英文思维啊？你平常多学学英文，然后把自己灌醉，然后醉酒的时候多讲讲英文，就能训练英文思维了。反正我是感觉喝醉酒以后，英文能讲的比正常人比较更长的时候更溜一点。匈奴西迁形成匈人啊，Huns。History nerds unite. Yeah, history nerds unite. Yeah, there are so many history nerds in here, right? You guys are so knowledgeable. A great wall crosses many land forms, and the irony now is that China has to now try and get. What do you mean? Like, I don't really understand what you mean. How many languages do you speak? I speak Chinese, speak English, right? But when within Chinese, I could also speak Cantonese, Mandarin, and Chinese. Yeah, but Chinese and English are the two languages I can speak. Yeah, yeah. Over America's Great Wall of Terrace, you have a very interesting life. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, it is sad that you could carry a gold plate on your head from one end. Wait, what do you mean, my friend? I have no idea. Of the empire to the other. What do you mean? What does that mean? Interestingly, enough life under the Huns was very safe for non-enemies. Oh yeah, on the condition that you donate lots of resources to the Huns. Well, not donate. You actually just sacrifice your resources to the Huns, right? Then they are gonna protect you, right? So back then, I was saying that, right, we were discussing about the history, right, about the how Silk Road was formed. We were discussing about Xinjiang back then was called Rouzhi. Well, even though they were protected by the Huns, and because they were protected by the Huns, so in order to make the Huns happy, they would even kill the ambassadors from the Han dynasty, okay, the Chinese people from the central area, okay, so we even do that. However, deep in their heart, deep in those like Rouzhi people's heart, they hate the Huns. It's not because they like the Huns, because the Huns have done like cruel, brutal things to them, and they fear the Huns. So that's why they have to show great obedience to the Huns by doing all that. Yeah. So that's basically what happened in the history. Yeah. They were also incredibly religiously tolerant. Mm-hmm. Ray, you have been studying the history before you know a lot. Yeah, guys, follow me, please, okay? If you haven't done so. Let's see what the other comments in here. Yeah, let's see what the other comments in here. I like it. Today is a pretty interactive session. Yeah. I have English class now. Okay, basically it was protection money. Do citizens pay income tax or do companies pay taxes on profits? Both. So citizens also pay income tax and also companies also pay taxes on profits. So we also have uh a very comprehensive system. However, compared to the US and also Hong Kong, I know these are the places like every citizen have to do tax how to say tax application 申报税 yourselves, right? In China, it's usually just done by the company. So people don't worry about tax at all because the kind of income you get is after tax. So like the company will do everything for you and the country does everything for you. So like people as individual don't have to like file tax, something like that, you know, by ourselves. Yeah. I love the Chinese history discussion. So interesting to learn. That is great, Jules. Have you followed me, guys? Have you followed me, please? Guys, follow me, please. Yeah. So yeah, remember, give tap to the screen. It's for free, guys. Yeah, tap the screen to send in likes, my friend. Yeah, see you later, leave. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So that's basically, what's going on in there. Yeah. Mhm. China is divided into 3 or 4 tier cities. So I'm not sure like officially how many tiers of cities China divided into. So I know that in China we have definitely first tier cities, Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen. These are considered to be the first tier cities. Not sure about the other tier cities. Yeah. Yeah. So uh-huh. Yeah. Wait, what? You don't have to fire tax? Is that very amazing to you, Lamb? Well, you guys don't know. Okay. Right. So in China, we don't need to file tax ourselves. So I told you guys like I work in Hong Kong, right? So when I work in Hong Kong, that I know that at the beginning of the year, like everyone will have to fill in a form, like to tell like claim like how much money, how much income, and like everything like that, and like we have to do that on our like ourselves, right? And also later on, the government then decide like okay. How much tax you're paying, right? But here in China, we don't need to file. In mainland China, people don't need to file, so companies will do that for us. Yeah. So yeah, tier one plus Shenzhen. Yeah, Shenzhen is also considered to be the tier one city in China. Lots of technology that's going on in here. What's the relationship between the majority ethnic group and the minority ethnic groups? Pretty good, I think. So, well, I made a post about videos about like the minority groups here in China. Just so you know, like the minorities groups in China, they are having lots of privilege over the majority, like the ethnicity. Like for example, like people like me, like from Han ethnicity. So because, for example, for the university entrance examination, the the minority ethnicities usually get extra points. How about Chengdu and Xi'an? So the Han ethnicity group takes up like 90%, over 90% of the entire population, and the rest 10% are then divided into 55 minority groups. Okay, so when you're talking about Xi'an, about Chengdu, people inside those cities, majority of them are still Han ethnicity, right? So for me, I'm also Han ethnicity. Okay, I'm also from Han. And for other people in other countries, in other provinces, for example, especially for example, in Xinjiang, then it's the Uyghurs, right? And also in northeast part of China, then that's like many are Korea like ethnicity. Well, you guys know about Korea, right? Because like Korea is like very, when it talks about the country Korea, they are South Korea, North Korea is adjacent. North Korea is adjacent to the Chinese land, right? So that's why like when it comes to the areas that's very close to North Korea, there are lots of like Korea ethnicity in China as well. Yeah. How hard would it be for someone who only speaks English to live in China? That's actually pretty okay. Have actually met lots of foreign friends who can only speak English but live in China happily. However, after they moved to China, they would still try to take on some lessons and learn some basic of Chinese. Well, you're exposed to those kind of Chinese speaking environments so that people would just naturally pick up some Chinese lines, right? Say, for example, if I move to Spain, right, even though I don't attend any Spanish class, I just will pick up some Spanish, right? So just like that. So I do see lots of foreigners who don't speak Chinese at all, move to China, have a pretty decent life here. Yeah. So, but over the years, they start to pick some like Mandarin, some Chinese. That's how they're able to do. Yeah. What do the tiers mean when you discuss about cities? So the tiers means that usually we would judge it by like many different folds. For example, for the economy level of the economy development, right? For example, first tier would mean like Beijing and Shanghai. Those are the cities that has like a most advanced economy, kind of things. Yeah, so that's why these are the cities. And also when it comes to culture, comes to population, there are like many different ways to judge whether a city is like the first tier city or not. Yeah. Spanish is easy. Spanish is universal language. Yeah, I know. Spanish is a beautiful language. I told multiple times if I ever want to learn a new language, it's definitely going to be Spanish. And there's so many countries in the world that speak Spanish. Yeah, but however, like in Spanish, I know there's a sound like the like that's pretty hard to pronounce for Chinese people. Like with 大舌音, like there's a Spanish sound that is like the you know that's almost like impossible for Chinese people. Like I don't know at all how to pronounce it. Yeah, yeah. Okay, can you teach me, please? Aside from English, what are the other popular second languages in China? Like I said, like Spanish is definitely the very popular language. Many people are actually learning Spanish after they have learned English, right? And also, apart from Spanish, also there are lots of people who are learning French. French is also a very popular second language, right? You can't roll the Spanish R. I can't, Howie. I can't. Yeah, rolling your R's, that's so hard. Like, I can't. That is too hard. Like, I bet many Chinese people don't know. So, like, for Spanish, that's the right? And also for German and for many, like, French, that's the, that's also the R sound. It's always about the R sound, right? The rolling of your tongue of the R sound of Spanish is different from the rolling of your tongue to pronounce the R sound in German and French, right? Because the German and French is the like from the back, and the Spanish one is like in the front, right? Yeah, it's not easy, right? And also Russian has also their own like way of speaking, like so hard. Like, how many of you guys are actually speaking the sound right now? Yeah. What is Dragon Boat Festival? Dragon Boat Festival is a festival that is like celebrated to memorize a very important, famous ancient figure in Chinese history called Qu Yuan. So he is a patriotic, like really loved his country somehow because he's loved by many people somehow because he was not able to fulfill his ambition because of the emperor, because of the dynasty he was in. So that's why like he later just jumped in the river and finished his life. And people really loved him, so that's why like people want to memorize him. So that's why there is a Dragon Boat Festival. So during Dragon Boat Festival, people would eat a very special shape of dumplings. It's called 粽子. So this is not the type of dumplings that comes to your mind, right? Many people, when you talk about dumplings, you would think about those, 饺子, like the white shape of dumplings, right? For 粽子, it's a very different types of dumpling. And so when talking about that type of dumplings, the reason why people eat dumplings was because like the Qu Yuan, the person called Qu Yuan, right? He was really disappointed about the dynasty he lived in, so he jumped into the river, finished his life, right? And people really loved him, so that's why people made lots of those dumplings and throw it into river so that all the fish inside the sea, the river, would eat the dumplings instead eating the body of Qu Yuan. So that's a beautiful story, right? So later on also like people start to eat dumplings ourselves, right? It becomes a kind of tradition. And also people also have like dragon boat races during this dragon boat festival, right? They would row the boat to compete, like who actually row the dragon boat fastest, right? Yeah. So very very interesting story about our dragon boat festival. Yeah, I'm gonna show you a photo of what is 粽子. 粽子 is very tasty, my friend. If you haven't tried it, try 粽子. 粽子 is very tasty. Yeah, and the zongzi is usually also made by using the like 荷叶. How to say 荷叶? You would use a very special type of leaf to make zongzi. Yeah. It's time for you to go working. It's 9:30 now. Bumpkin Fishman, you've always been in my life, so you know that I usually would finish my life at 9:30. Well, we still have 4 minutes to go. Why in a rush? Why in a rush? Right? You should be saying that, hey, don't go. Oh, don't go. Like, why are you saying like, hey, you should go? It's 9:30. Oh, that makes me feel so heartbroken, my friend. Yeah. The English language has originated the Slavic languages. Okay, interesting to know. Yeah, interesting to know. Yeah. I have a trip to China planned in June. I live in the US. Will current US China relations affect? No, not at all. So if you travel to China, nothing about what's going on out there will affect your trip to China. So just come, okay? Chinese people are very friendly, and now is a pretty good time to travel to China because of the COVID and the pandemic, the traveling in China, the entire industry actually shrank a lot. So before, like every year, we have over 100 tourists coming from different countries to visit China. However, after the pandemic, only like just half of like 100 million, like 15 million people come in. So that is why, like in China, like now is the time, like we really encourage foreigners to come in here to visit China, right? So that's why since December last year, China opened up new visa policy, allowing people from 54 countries to travel in China visa free, right? So you would have no problems traveling to China, and you would find like even though what's going on out there, like still like Chinese people are super super friendly to American people. Yeah, just come in here. Don't worry at all. Okay, don't worry at all. You'll be very welcome here. And if you come in China, definitely try the high speed rail. Okay, I'm not sure where you would go. Okay, but if you're traveling between cities in China, definitely try the high speed rail. Okay, high speed rail is amazing, my friend. Amazing，我觉得他应该找12345寻求代翻译协助的政务服务啊，真的吗？有这个吗？有这种服务吗？Really? Because someone said that you could actually call the hotline. The number is 12345, and you could actually even ask for translation service from the government. Oh my god, really? Really? I don't know. Wow. Our service is that advanced, my friends. Oh my god. I myself am shocked about it. 作为一个中国人，我都有点震惊了。哇塞，真的打12345还能要求这个翻译服务的？Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. You someone said that if you are a foreigner, if you come to China, you don't know Chinese, you can actually call the hotline 12345. The number of the hotline is 12345. And once you call 12345, you could actually just call for like translation services. Oh, 英文服务按2. Okay, yeah. So my friend, my American friend, you say you're American, you're traveling to China, right? So say for example, if you're having any problems in China and you can't find help, just dial 12345. Okay, okay, dial 12345 and select English as your language, and just ask the people in the hotline the questions you have, the problems you're facing, and there will be people dedicated to help you solve your problems. Okay, and that is actually by the government. Oh, that is pretty amazing. Wow, that is pretty amazing. Before before this Slavic tribes invaded Rome, the primary language was Latin. Okay, yeah. Which language you find more difficult? What do you mean by which language do I find more difficult? Like between which languages? Just more choices, right? Yeah, just more choices. 不然老外办事儿咋整？确实是，但是我还是觉得很 amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, I think it's pretty amazing. Yeah. Um, yeah, but many Chinese can't travel because you only have 15 days of leave per year. Is that correct? Depends on which companies you're working for. So our public holidays are so there are actually altogether three biggest public holidays in China. Okay, one is the Spring Festival, so we have like 1 week off for the Spring Festival, and the May Labor Day, 1 week off, and then also the National Day, which is also 1 week off for the holiday. So we have like quite many public holidays, but also those are the public holidays that many people are just going to travel at the same time, right? To abroad, to other places. So if you ever come to China, just definitely don't pick those public holidays because wherever you go, you basically just going to see so many people out there. Okay, definitely come during the time where there is no public holidays. Okay, yeah. So when you're talking about personal leave, it really depends on the companies. Okay, some companies. So according to the law, Chinese people have like I think 5 days of personal leave. That's by law. However, for some companies, they would give you more personal leave. So really depends. Really depends. Yeah. Uh-huh. They divide Rome into five Slavic tribes. Wow, great. You guys are chatting about history in the comments yourself. That is fantastic. Yeah. Okay, Confucius say, like Confucius, don't say that, my friend. I feel like you're thinking yourself as Confucius. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, time is up, my friend. Yeah, thank you so much for coming to the work. Okay, what do you do for work? Okay, I myself am an entrepreneur. Okay, I'm an entrepreneur working on several projects, startup projects myself. Like one of the projects is AI, one of the project is cross-border e-commerce. So one of the project is right now doing social media, right? So still like working on ways how to monetize social media accounts. So like several things. So that's basically what I do. Yeah. I am Chinese. Yeah, I was born here and live here. Yes, you're right, Larissa. And guys, follow me, please. Follow me, please, if you haven't done so. Okay. 这个非常感谢大家今天来啊！Thank you so much for coming to the live today. Okay, as always, I really enjoyed this live stream today, and thank you so much, my friend, for coming in. And just so you know, just so you guys know that my live is usually from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. China time. Okay, so the same time tomorrow we are gonna meet again and gonna discuss so many interesting things in here. Okay, and for those of you who haven't followed me, definitely follow me, please. Okay, definitely follow me, please. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much for coming in here. And oh, I'll say one more thing. So if you haven't joined my group chat group on Rednote, please join my chat group on Rednote. Okay, join my chat group on Rednote, and so we actually discuss a lot in there as well. That's also a way to keep connected to me. Okay, yeah. So thank you. I love today's live stream. Thank you, Nitrous, and your followers. Yeah, thank you so much. I love you too. Okay, thank you guys for coming. Time to say goodbye. Love you guys. Love you guys and look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, my friend. Okay? Yeah, follow me, please, and join my chat group. Okay? Thank you. Bye bye.